Welcome to today's class, dear devotees, Prabhujis and Mataji. Dhanavad Pranam to all of you. Today we'll continue with chapter number 7, and we are the four categories of Sukritnas, four category of Duskritnas who do not surrender to Lord, pious and impious people, and why Jnani is most dear to the Lord, though he was because he ultimately learns the real truth through jnana, or by accident coming in contact with pure devotee, that Supreme Personality of God is Krishna, and that is the highest perfection of life, highest perfection of spiritual realization. So Jnani, Lord Krishna says, are very dear to me. So, but when does Jnani attain this knowledge? Bahunam janmanam ante, after many, many births and many, many deaths. So then, this verse is further elaborated, realization of one in fully knowledge. The knowledge is here that Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. The highest realization of a devotee is, or jnani, or any Sukritna, is that Krishna, that is a highest perfection of his spiritual realization, that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead and others are just subordinate to him. He is the creator, he is Adi Purush, he is primeval Lord, and he is the cause of all causes. Everything has happened because of him. So Supreme Personality of Godhead is the ultimate goal of his spiritualization, therefore surrender. Now, that means when person surrenders, thereafter he develops some detachment from senses, and thereafter he accepts devotional service by coming in contact with pure devotees. And when devotional service starts, need for sense gratification does not arise, and he uses all his senses in the service of Lord. So this is the knowledge which he gains. Material world is the perverted reflection of his spiritual activities, because everything is topsy-turvy here. We'll come to it when we study chapter after chapter. Understand Lord as the cause of all causes, and realizes a universal vision of Vasudeva. That is, he sees Lord in everyone, and everything is Lord also. Thus, his vision becomes attains the highest goal. And Lord's, then he develops a dependency, a feeling of dependency, because God, the Lord, a pure devotee, always considers himself as asahaya. That means helpless. And he always remembers and depends on God or Krishna for everything. And whatever Krishna gives, he is satisfied with it. He considers that perhaps this is the right thing Krishna has given to me. So such is the faith, Shraddha of a pure devotee. So in the beginning, it may look like impersonalization. When he says one does not give up, one gives up the attachment to the material objects, then it looks like impersonalism. But later, when the devotee is advanced, then he realizes that there are a lot of activities to be. It is not impersonal. We know that in impersonalist or Mayavadi, or person who believes in Brahmanic effulgence only, he does meditation only. There is no activity involved in his devotion. He considered that his ultimate goal is to merge into the Brahman effulgence. He considered it as perfection of life. But Krishna has covered himself through Yoga Maya. A curtain of Yoga Maya surrounds him. Everybody cannot break this Yoga Maya and understand Krishna. Only through surrender and performing loving devotional duty to Krishna, one realizes and reaches this advanced stage of bhakti. And this advanced stage of bhakti is that he realizes that all activities are, or all senses are to be used in the service of Lord Krishna. So this is the state we have heard, or we have already studied on Friday in the last class. Now, question comes immediately when Sakam Bhakta, the Arth, Artharthi, and Jigyasu, that they are Sakam Bhakta, they have got material desires. When they can get all kind of desires fulfilled by worshipping Krishna, then why not surrender to demigods? Where is the need of serving Krishna? Because demigods are easy to please, and they are in charge of one or some separate departments which have been assigned to them by Lord Krishna. They are ministers when the Krishna is prime minister. All demigods, there are many demigods. Krishna is one only. Prime Minister, we know there is one only. And there are ministers are many. So each minister is in charge of a particular department. Similarly, in the ministry of Krishna, the demigods are minister in charge of different departments. And they are easy to please. And they can also give this material, fulfill the material desires. Why did Draupadi remember Krishna, or Gajendra remembered Krishna, or Dhruva remembered Krishna? They could have done it by remembering and worshipping or surrendering to demigods also. So now immediate question comes, why people worship demigods? So because they do not possess knowledge. And what is the knowledge? This is being discussed in verse 20 to 25. So verse 20 says that those whose intelligence has been stolen by material desires surrender unto demigods and follow the particular rules and regulations of worship according to their own natures. Now, we know, Lord is very, very merciful. Why merciful? Because he is there in the heart of every living entity as a super soul. And he is watching. The soul is like the real most dear son of the Lord. So whatever soul desires, Lord is kind enough to permit it to happen, and provides faith, provides all kind of assistance which is required to fulfill that desire. So, but such people who consider for demigods for their material desires, or who worship demigods for their material desires, they are alpa buddha or alpa medhas. This word has been used in the shloka. They are alpa medhas because their knowledge is small. They are their knowledge is not up to mark, or they're perfect. So they worship demigods, and they for each demigod worship, we know there are certain rules and regulations. Whether you are worshipping Ma Saraswati, or Lord Ganesha, or Lord Shiva, or Lord Parvati, or Lord Devi, Durga, and there is certain rules and regulations. Now, Krishna is very kind. Whatever soul desires, or whatever soul wants to worship demigod form or demigods, Lord Krishna gives them Shraddha. He gives them faith, so that they can, they can develop faith and worship. Just, just hold on, Mataji. I shall be back in a minute.
ಅವನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಎರಡು ಕಡೆನೂ ಬೇಕಾದ ಇನ್ನೂ ಬರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬಸ್ವಾಗಲ್ಲ ಯಾರಿಗೂ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು ಇನ್ನೂ ಕೆಳಗಡೆ ತಂದಾಕೆ ಕರ್ಕೊಂಬಂದು ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ ಅವನ್ಗಳು ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಸಾಲದಿಲ್ಲ. ನಾನು ಆಟೋ ಮನೆಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತೀನಿ, ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ, ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ ಅವ್ರು ಬೀಗ್ರೆ.
Sorry for interruption. I'm sorry. So, yes, anybody would like to read verse 7.21?
Prabhuji, I want to say something here.
Yeah.
For earth, Artharthi, Jigyasu, and the Gyani. So here, my understanding what it takes like Earth, Artharthi, and Jigyasu. So their knowledge is limited because they are only confined with the knowledge that this much is the world, where anyone or the self who can who can pray to the demigods, they can do sadhana for to the demigods, and they can acquire the desire what they are desiring. But among these three, the Gyani, the Gyani are the Uttama at the higher level, because Gyani is the one who knows that the true nature, the Tattva Bodha is that the material can't be destroyed and material cannot be created. So this Jnana is making the Gyani at the uppermost and very near and dear to the Krishna, because the Gyani knows that the we know as from the scriptures Purnamidam. So from the whole, however, how much we are trying to, or how much we do the sadhana to get those material, it will be here only, that can't be taken out of it. So how much, however we will take, it will be full, and that whole full is from that full. So this knowledge is only making the difference, that the Gyani at the uppermost. So this is how I understood. I don't know whether it is correct
Yeah,
way or not.
you're perfectly correct, Mataji. What is Gyan? Now let us take up this issue. What is the knowledge? Knowledge is that I am soul, not this body. That I am part and parcel of Lord. That I am eternal servant of Lord, and that my that Lord is supreme Lord, or Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. He does not worship. A Jnani does not worship demigods. So this is the Gyan, in fact, and this is the difference. But they are Sakam Bhakta. They are working for some material desire. But Gyani is not working for material desire. Is it okay, Mataji?
And Prabhuji, is it so that the Gyani have passed all the rest three, then only they have reached to the level of Gyani?
Exactly,
Yes.
Mataji. Gradual elevation to the platform of Gyani, from Artharthi to Jigyasu to ultimately Gyani. Right? That is
Thank
perfectly
you.
correct.
Thank you,
So
Prabhu.
in verse 7.2, Richa Jan Mataji raised your hand. You want to read?
यो यो यां तनुं भक्ता श्रद्धयार्चितुमिच्छति तस्याचला श्रद्धां तामेव विद्धामहम्. I'm in everyone's heart as the super soul. As soon as one desires to worship some demigod, I make his faith steady so that he can devote himself to that particular deity.
So, as I mentioned earlier, these Sakam Bhaktas, or devotees who have material desires, if they can, get results by same results, whatever they are desiring, by worshipping Krishna, then why they should not worship demigods? And there are a number of demigods. You can see the picture here: Lord Shiva, Lord Ganesha, Ma Saraswati, Durga Ma, and all those are there. So why people should not worship demigods? But Lord said they are Alpa Buddha. Just now Mataji raised a very good question, that Gyan, what is Jnana? So because Alpa Buddha, because they consider demigod as whole soul, they do not know the difference between Krishna and demigods. They do not know this fact. So the result is they are Alpa Medha. They have a small knowledge. Their intelligence is small. That is why they go to worship demigods. And worship of demigod is imperfect. But Lord, as I said, is very kind. He, whatever soul desires, individual soul desires, Lord permits that soul to desire to be fulfilled. Lord permits development of faith in the heart of.
That however, at whatever the stage we are desiring to have something, that he is blessing, and he is letting us to know ki you take it and realize that how much you are enjoying with it.
Yes.
And ultimately, as a soul, not all, but a few of us are definitely elevating, trying to elevate ourselves to the extent where we can find and where we will be quenched with the real knowledge, true knowledge.
So, Alpamedhas, so firstly, they are overpowered by material desires. Secondly, the fruits that they get are limited, they are temporary. They don't know that Krishna is the origin of everything or source of everything. And whatever demigods are giving or granting, as benediction of boons to a person, or fruits to a person or devotee, that has a sanction of Krishna, then only it has, because super soul has sanctioned it. Otherwise, they do not go. So what happens to the fate of such persons? They go to the Indralok or Suryalok or Chandralok, wherever they are worshipping, they ultimately go to that loka. And when the credit of positive actions or credit of their devotional service is over, they come back to earth, earthly planets, and start their journey in birth and death cycle again. So this is the tragedy with, but a pure devotee knows that Lord Krishna is the giver and controller of everything. So this is the difference between the two. So, Mataji is not, so Lord is kind, he gives faith and then permits everything to be fulfilled so far as this material desire is concerned. Now this is verse 22. Yes, Richajan Mataji, that text, shloka is not giving just text.
ഞാൻ ശത്രുമന്റെ
faith, he endeavors to worship a particular demigod and obtains his desires, but it acts these
In actuality,
taught by me alone. These
so
benefits
according
are
to such a faith, he endeavors to worship a particular demigod and obtains his desires. But in actuality, these benefits are bestowed upon by me alone. This is Alpamedhas, because he doesn't know that Krishna, if Krishna does not sanction something to the devotee against his prayers, the demigods cannot give it. But this is why they are called Alpamedhas. And ultimately, this is verse number 23. Yes, Mataji.
Antvatu phalam tesham tabd vate yalp medhsam devan devve jo yanti mad bhakta yanti mamapi. Men of small intelligence worship the demigods, and their fruits are limited and temporary. Those who worship the demigods go to the planets of the demigods, but my devotees ultimately reach my supreme planet. Bhagavad Gita 7.23.
Thank you, Mataji. So now, if we consider it like this, that these demigods are different body parts, part and parcel of Lord Krishna, or different parts of the Lord's body, then why a person who is worshipping demigod is indirectly worshipping Krishna? So why is Alpamedhas? But the Alpamedhas, because the devotee does not know which part of the body is to be served in the devotional service. We know that we cannot serve hands or feet or mouth or eyes or ears or chest or legs. The food is to be given to the stomach. Sorry. So the Alpamedhas, or the person of low intelligence, they do not know where to worship and whom to worship. Now, similarly, not only demigods, Lord Krishna has divided the world in world ashrama system, the category of four varnas into different kind of categories of four as his body parts. Now, Brahmanas, we know that does anybody know what are the role of Brahmanas? What is the place of Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vash and Shudra in Lord's body? Which part each one acquires?
Brahmana is the head,
Yes.
Shudra is the feet,
Yeah.
and Satriya is the chest, and Vaishyas is uh, the hip part, or
Yes, Mother. Thank you. It's
hip
very
part.
nice. So, Brahmana are the head of the Lord. Kshatriyas are the arms. The Vaishya are the waist or belly of the Lord, and the Shudras are the legs of Lord. So even Lord, everybody is part. We are also part and parcel of Lord's body in the form of one ashrama. So the Alpamedhas or low intelligence, because person does not know which part to be served. Yes, Mataji, demigod worshippers, starting from BG 7.2024. Richard and Mataji, please continue.
Intelligence is stolen by material desires, lust, fruits are limited and temporary. Basis of worship, different modes and natures different. Lack of knowledge about Krishna. Krishna is the source of everything. Krishna makes faith steady, required by a living entity to worship the demigod. Krishna bestows benefits through the demigods to living entities. Result: go to demigod planets, keeps one in the material world, a place of misery. Krishna devotees, result: go to supreme planet of Krishna. Result of demigod worship are all perishable. Result of devotional service unto Krishna is unlimited and eternal.
Thank you, Mataji. So there is clear-cut demarcation here. What demigod worshippers and what pure devotees of Krishna, how they act and what is the ultimate destination. The destination, now let us take this one. Intelligence is stolen by material desires or lust. Fruits are limited and temporary. Why they are limited and temporary? Anyone?
Because they are material.
Yeah, that of course desires are material, no doubt. Limited because each minister in a department, in a ministry has got a certain limited power to conduct his department only. So they are limited and they are temporary because Lord Krishna has empowered them with a certain opulence, or certain rights and capacity only. And they are temporary because they never last long. Now, what is the attitude of such devotees, demigod worshippers? The attitude they have got no spiritual sense basically. Then modes, because there is material desire, so mode is always low. And then level of understanding is low because they do not know that Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is sanctioning, not the demigods are giving this. Without Krishna's sanction, they cannot get any kind of benediction from demigods. So that is another. So their conception is they consider that probably demigods are better as compared to Krishna, because the demigods are pleased very easily. But the condition of a real devotee, and the worshippers of demigods go to the planets of demigods after leaving this body, whereas the understanding a pure devotee of Krishna is very, very different. He knows that everything belongs to Krishna. Krishna is the sanctioner. Krishna is the Anumanta or Anudrashta. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And if one person directly worships Krishna, then it is like watering the root so far as growth of trees is concerned. And also like feeding the stomach, and instead of giving food to arms, legs, or eyes, or ears, or mouth. So this is the status of a pure devotee. So this is a further description of how does a Pankaj Dubey, Prabhu, you would like to read it?
Yes,
Prabhuji,
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Prabhuji, please.
Prabhuji,
Can we,
Yes, Mataji.
yes, Prabhuji, actually, some of the saints to whom I'm hearing, I mean, so it is being said that when a person actually worships the goddess, then the person is directed towards Lord Shiva. Then when Lord Shiva gets happy, then the person is directed towards the worshipping of Lord Krishna. So, I mean, is it like that?
Lord Krishna, Lord Shiva is the purest Vaishnava. He is the best and the highest great devotee of Krishna. What is, you must have seen Brahma and Shiva meditating all the time. What they are meditating upon, they are praying to Krishna all the time.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, that could be a longer route, as you said. It is possible that after developing devotion to Lord Ma Durga or Saraswati or Ganesh, Lord Ganesha, or maybe Lord Shiva, one gradually develops this understanding that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead, not the ultimate goal. It is like just Mayavadi kind of conception. Mayavad, the impersonalists think that the Lord has no form and no attributes. He is only just this Brahman effulgence only. But they don't know that effulgence is coming from the body of the transcendental body of Lord Krishna only. So their knowledge is limited. They are Alpmedas, and their knowledge is misdirected also, because they do not have perfection. They can't attain the perfection of a spiritual life. That
Prabhuji, Prabhuji, like a child who goes to school, starting the fundamental basic starting of journey of gaining the knowledge is the letters. First the child start writing the letters. Then he will learn the combining the letters, making the word, then making words, combining the words to make the vakya, then so on. So likewise, that the starting the bija is getting created, that in our soul how this worshipping, the sadhana, how it is coming. So once it is started, step by step, we are just climbing the ladder, and we know the ultimate source, that is the Krishna. So there, that is our destination where we are landing off, and ultimately from there we are not going anywhere.
Mataji, that is why Lord Krishna spoke Gita to Arjuna. The
Yes.
ladder, he started with Karma Yoga, Karma Kand, then Karma Yoga, Nishkam, Sakam Karma, then Nishkam Karma Yoga. Thereafter, he talked about Gyan Yoga, then he talked about Buddhi Yoga, and then he talked about Bhakti Yoga.
Yes.
We know the ladder is very long. It is like reaching 15th floor of a building through elevator or through stairs or through ramp. So the choice is given. Lord is very kind. He has permitted whatever you want to do. Now, at our level, for a child, it is all right, because he is learning how to read Bhagavad Gita. In fact, for us at this level, should have very clear understanding the position of Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna and vis-a-vis the demigods. We should know the difference between the worship. The common man is ignorant. Lord Krishna does not say that you don't worship, or he does not criticize demigods, because they are his appointed ministers. You can worship them, there is no problem. But Lord Krishna has very clearly mentioned here also, again, this certain chapter, the worship of the worship of demigods is temporary and limited, and that fruits are. But if you worship me, it is eternal and everlasting. You go to Krishna Lok, where there is no coming back to this cycle again. Whereas now in chapter number 9, verse number 25, perhaps, he says, if you worship demigods, you go to demigods. If you worship your pitras, then you go to Pitralok. If you worship bhutas or spirits, then you go to their but those who worship me, they come to my loka. Lord has said the choice is ours. So is it okay, Mataji, now?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes.
So yes, Pankaj Dubey, Prabhu, yes, nature.
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
These are the qualities why a person who is of low intelligence worship demigods. His nature, his philosophy, mentality and attitude, action and result. This is all described in different verses. So a summary is presented here. Yes, Prabhuji.
Demigod worshipper nature follow the karma kand session of the Vedas, Bhagavad Gita 8.16. Attract the material enjoyment, seek the quick result. Philosophy believe that one who worship a demigod can reach the supreme Lord. Bhagavad Gita 7.23 page. Except the demigod are equal to Krishna. There are many gods. A particular demigod in the supreme instead of Krishna. Bhagavad Gita 9.23. The world is meant for enjoyment. Bhagavad Gita 4.12. The goal, dharma, artha, and karma. Bhagavad Gita 7.23. Mentality and attitude. I am enjoyer. Desire the superior enjoyment in the higher planet. False prestige. Intelligence lost due to lusty desire. Action. Perform prescribed duty. Worship demigod. Perform sacrifice. Result. He achieved the higher planetary system and enjoy the until his thesis result are exhausted, and then he returned to the middle planetary system.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So a person who is worshipper of demigod, his nature is that he believes in karma kanda, and karma kanda is given in different type of Vedas. And what he wants, he desires his material wills to be fulfilled, and that is why he worships. His philosophy is that he both Krishna and Supreme Personality of Godhead, as well as the demigods, they are at this same level. So he particular demigod is supreme because he considers that Krishna may not give, but some particular benefit of boon may be given by demigod alone. So he wants to enjoy those fruits, and he considers that worship of demigod is the goal of earth, calm, earth, dharma, earth and calm, and ultimately moksha. He can get moksha by worshipping demigods. Whereas moksha cannot be given by demigods. They are not empowered. Only Krishna is empowered to give moksha or liberation. And mentality and attitudes, he considers that I am the enjoyer, not the Supreme Personality of God. Whereas Krishna is the Supreme Enjoyer, we have already heard it. And he has a false sense of prestige also. And due to lusty material desires are so many that he does not consider spiritual devotional service to Krishna. And his actions are, what does he do? He performs different kind of, sacrifices and tapas and austerities and sacrifices and penances. He considers by doing those, the demigod will be pleased and he will get the results, and which comes quite quickly. The result is that he reaches the planets of demigods, and as soon as the account is finished or balance is zero, he comes back to the middle planetary system, which is earthly planet. Yes, Prabhuji. I'll read the shloka, you read the translation, okay? Avyaktam vyaktim apannam manya.
Prabhuji,
Yes,
page,
Prabhuji.
I'm same page. Nature, philosophy, same so.
Yeah, yes, Prabhuji. This is finished. Okay,
I think net problem.
okay. Can others see the 7.24?
Prabhuji,
No,
it's
same page.
demigod worshippers are visible only. This is the previous slide.
Oh, why?
Demigod worshippers.
Yes.
Now it is
No,
changed.
now it's not showing.
I'll just now come to it. Sorry. This one is visible now.
Yes, Prabhuji.
We just now finished this one.
Yes. Yes.
This is the characteristics of a person who is a demigod worshipper. Yes, Prabhuji, would you like to read this one?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, please.
Avyak, avyak, avaktam vakyam apananam manayante mam abuddhya param bhavam ajanto mama vayam anantamam. An unintelligent man who do not know me perfectly think that I am a supreme personality of a godhead. Krishna was impersonal before and have now assumed this personality due to their small knowledge. They do not know my higher nature, which is imperishable and supreme.
Thank you, Prabhuji. But we know here, unintelligent men who do not know me perfectly think that I am the supreme personality of Godhead. Now, Krishna. But who are these unintelligent persons? They are impersonalist, Mayavadi. They think Krishna never existed. His body is material. Whenever he appears, he is not transcendental. His body is material. He does not possess any attributes, or he does not possess any kind of form or attributes. And temporarily, when he appears on the earth, he assumes a form which is material. They do not know that Krishna never assumes a material body. His body, whenever he appears, is a transcendental only. And when the particular mission is over, he returns back. So they are basically covered by the Maya or illusory energy of Lord Krishna, because they are not able to see the transcendental nature of Krishna or transcendental form of Krishna, because they are covered by Maya, so they are called Mayavadi, or they are called impersonalist. So, so naturally, they do not believe in the Krishna's form. They believe only in Brahman Jyoti only. Due to their small knowledge, they do not know my higher nature, that which is imperishable, and they do not know that Krishna is eternal. He is eternally present in his Goloka Vrindavan, that he does not. He only appears periodically. Yada yada, that must we have heard about this cause of appearance and the time of appearance when he appears. So we have already heard about. So, but Bhagavad Gita is very, very clear that Lord has got, Lord himself is present in the battlefield, giving lessons or teachings to Arjuna. So how can you say that Lord does not have form? There were so many pastimes with in Vrindavan, in Mathura, and so many demons were killed. How can you believe that Krishna does not have a form, does not have a body? But of course, the body is transcendental. So this is again, yes, this Prabhuji, this one also.
Yes, Prabhuji. Naham prakasha sarvasya yogamaya samvartah muttayam navijanti lokamam ajam avyam. I never manifest to the foolish and unintelligent. For them I am covered by my eternal creative creative potency, Yog Maya, and so the deluded world know me not, who am unborn and infallible. Fallible.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So I'm never manifest to the foolish and unintelligent. Now, during can anybody tell during this battle of Kurukshetra, who were the people who could know the transcendental nature or transcendental form of Krishna? Who were the people?
Kauravas.
Bhishma,
Pandavas is very
Bhishma.
nice, Mataji. And
Bhishma.
Bhishma. Only Pandavas and Bhishma. Duryodhan was there in the battlefield looking at Krishna, but he didn't know the transcendental nature of Krishna. He could
We
not
don't
understand
see.
because he was foolish, he was unintelligent. He was motivated by material desires. So, and he was suffering from self-ego and false sense of prestige also. So why they could not? Because Krishna Purse Yog Maya curtain, he has mentioned here, I am covered by eternal creative potency, that is, he is eternally creative, and that Yog Maya curtain covering over Krishna does not make transparent or does not make visible his transcendental nature to the persons who are unintelligent and who are foolish. So it is, and these foolish people do not know that Krishna is eternal. He is Achyuta. He never fails to protect his devotees, pure devotees, like Arjuna and Draupadi. And also, he never falls down from his position. Falls down from his position means that falls down from his position means that he is transcendental all through it, that he is not material. So this is Achyuta. Achyuta has got two meanings. Achyuta or infallible has two meanings. First is that he never fails to protect his duty from devotees in times required. And secondly, that he is always transcendental. He never assumes any material body and is never affected by three modes of material nature. So Lord Krishna never manifests to the foolish and unintelligent. Here the reasons are given. Qualification of understanding, as Mataji just now mentioned, only Pandavas and Bhishma Pitamahi, they could know that Krishna is transcendental. Qualification for understanding Krishna is only pure devotees like Pandavas, Bhishma, and few others could know. And except devotees, all consider him as ordinary. A person who takes birth, does although passes through those 6 stages of life and ultimately leaves this body and goes to some other planet. So result of being impersonal states, they do not know that Lord is unborn, infallible. Supreme Lord is absolute truth. He hides from foolish and intelligent. And this Brahman effulgence is virtually a Yog Maya curtain of Lord. which hides him from the views or the vision of impersonalist. So this is what Lord Krishna has said here. And Lord is covered by internal potency. So now we come to section F, which is summary. Knowing Krishna is a source of both the material and spiritual energies. We have already heard about this thing, that we are the living entities are superior energy of Lord. And Lord has got three potencies. One is superior energy, then marginal energy, which is Tatastha Shakti, and third is inferior energy or the lower energy. The results of the the creations made by Lord Krishna through his different potencies or energies are superior energy, demigods and higher planets, living entities, the marginal energy, because it has got input of both superior energy, that is in the form of soul and super soul, and also because bound by three modes of material nature, that is the lower energy. And lower energy, the material nature and all these planets have been created. The middle level planets and the lower planets, they are all part of the lower energy. So one has to, a pure devotee can only understand that Lord has got material energy and spiritual energies. Yes, Shamprabha Mataji would like to read now. You raised your hand.
Yes, Prabhuji,
Yes.
I'll read.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. O Arjuna, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, I know everything that has happened in the past, all that is happening in the present, and all things that are yet to come. I also know all living entities, but me, no one knows.
Thank you,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna.
So
Dhanyavad.
just now we saw that Lord has covered himself with his Yoga Maya or internal potency, which is very creative. Now let us take an analogy to see this truth. Now sun is there, a thick layer of cloud covers the sun. Does this mean that sun does not exist? It doesn't really. Sun is already there, but it is covered by, so the impersonalists are not able to see the Bhagwan feature of Krishna because their knowledge is limited and they are covered by the Yoga Maya, which they are limited to, that Brahman effulgence form of God realization only. So their limited vision is limited. But if pure devotee knows that beyond the clouds, that there is a sun God is there beyond the clouds. So why this religion comes and who can overcome this delusion? A second aspect is, as in this verse is given, then if Lord was material, then how he could know the present, past, and future of everybody? Lord has told Krishna told Arjuna that, I know thousands and thousands of births have taken place for me, for both you also. But I remember each one of you, but you do not remember. Because Arjuna was material, Krishna was transcendental. He remembered everything. So this is another proof that Krishna is transcendental. He is not material. He has got spiritual potencies. He has got, transcendental potencies, which is the cause of creation of everything. So, but a pure devotee knows this fact very well. He is not covered by, his knowledge is not alp. He is not alpa medhas. He is, his vision is wide and he knows everything very, very well. So pure devotees like Pandavas, Bhishma, Pitame, they were pure devotees and they did know. Brahma knows that, Shiva knows that Lord Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So why these people do not? Because they are envious. Firstly, they consider themselves as equal to Krishna. Secondly, those people who consider themselves equal to Krishna, they do not understand the transcendental nature of Krishna. And they are affected by dualities of life. Happiness, grief, good, bad, loss, gain. So they are always swinging between these two dualities, and these people do not know Krishna very well. Yes, Mataji, this one also.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Which is the one? O
27.
Arjuna as the Supreme Personality. That is the one? Or okay,
This
the
one,
other
yeah,
one.
the other one, Mataji.
Okay. O Scion of Bharata, conqueror of the foe, All living entities are born into delusion, bewildered by dualities arisen from desire and hate. Bhagavad Gita 7.27.
So this
Thank you,
I've
Prabhuji.
already mentioned why they are not able to understand, because they are covered by Yoga Maya. Lord has covered himself with Yoga Maya. They are not, their vision is limited, like the sun not being visible under the spell of clouds. So they are limited. And they also consider themselves as equal to Krishna. They do not know that Krishna is transcendental. They consider themselves equal. They are envious of Krishna's glory and pastimes or attributes, and they are also suffering from dualities of life which are there. So yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Swam Prabha, Mataji. Anyone else would like to read it?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes,
I'll read.
Mataji, please continue.
Persons who have acted piously in previous lives and in this life, and whose sinful actions are completely eradicated or freed from the dualities of delusion, and they engage themselves in my service with determination. Bhagavad Gita 7.28. Dhanyavad.
Thank you, Mataji. So earlier we saw that he talked about three Sakam Bhaktas, Arth, Artharthi, and Jigyasu. They were Sakam, they had material desire, but ultimately they got successful in reaching Krishna. What happens? Bahunam Janmanamante. Such people, what happens? So these people, after taking many births and after deaths, they realize that
This is the one?
Hare Krishna. Am I audible?
Yeah. 7.28, right, Prabhuji?
Yeah, this I'm continuing. This I'm explaining. Now, why these three people, Sakam Bhakta, he's now talking about fourth category of Sakam Bhakta. First, Sakam, three category of Sakam Bhakta were Arth, Artharthi, Jigyasu, and Jnani. Right? These three Sakam Bhakta. What happens, Sakam Bhakta? Because they have material desire. Now, what happens after many births, they get distasteful, develop distaste for material desires. And ultimately, when there is no sense gratification, they come in contact with pure devotees. And when they come in contact with pure devotees, they learn the art of devotional service. They know that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and ultimately they surrender. And when they surrender, their self-ego and their other anarthas, they vanish, and thereafter they take to devotional service. So the path is long. Now, these were three Sakam Bhaktas. Now, Lord Krishna is telling about fourth category of Sakam Bhakta, like persons who know, who have acted piously. In previous lives, we studied that persons who have acted piously in previous lives, if their devotion service is not complete or their spiritual journey is not complete, Lord gives them another chance. They are born in the family of aristocrats or highly evolved spiritual families or transcendental families of Krishna consciousness parents, where they start their journey where they left in the previous life. So, but here Krishna is mentioning about such fourth category of Sakam Bhaktas, persons who have acted piously in previous lives and in this life, and whose sinful actions are completely eradicated. How sinful reactions are eradicated? By constantly doing japam, recitation of Mahamantra. Our sinful reactions of many thousands of lives, they get eliminated. So they become eliminated, free from dualities of delusion, and they engage themselves by, after doing repeated Mahamantra and also doing devotional service of Krishna, they develop ultimately surrender to Lord, and they develop devotional service to Lord Krishna. So this is fourth category of Sakam Bhaktas. And the destination is again for them also, because there is no material desire, because there is no sense gratification, because there is no material entanglement, they ultimately take up pure devotional service and reach Krishna Loka. So this is fourth category of Sakam Bhakta. So desires, yes, Mataji, please read this.
Yeah. How living entities are covered by Maya. desiring to enjoy separate from Krishna or put under Maya, delusion. Separation from pure knowledge, thus covered by illusory energy. Effects of manifestation of illusory energy, duality of desire, hate. Symptoms of such delusion: wants to become one with the Lord, original sinful desire of living entity. Envies Krishna as Supreme Personality of Godhead, original hatred of living entity. Thinks Supreme Personality of Godhead is created by material energy, manifestations of dualities of delusion or dishonor, honor, good, bad, pleasure, pain. And then
Men, women.
there's a line on that.
Yeah, Mataji, it is men, women,
Men,
etc.
women, etc.
Yes, Mataji.
Knowledge of the absolute desire and hatred bewildered by dualities. How can they get free from the coverings of Maya? Recognize Krishna's supremacy, become a devotee of Krishna, acting in real constitutional, the last line not seen, Prabhuji.
Constitutional position. Real constitutional position is that we are part and parcel. So these are symptoms, desire and hatred cause them to be bewildered by dualities. Because of material desires and hatred, because they are envious of Krishna, they do not surrender to Krishna. When they do not surrender to Krishna, they are material, they keep on enjoying the material energy of Lord. And Lord covers himself from such people who are foolish and not intelligent with his Yog Maya, and the result is they are far away from Krishna. But what happens for a devotee? How this delusion is removed? Because the devotee recognizes the supremacy that Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead, and also he surrenders to Lord and becomes a devotee of Krishna, because he knows that he is eternal servitor of Lord. He is part and parcel of God. He has come to this material world by virtue of his sinful reactions of past janmas, and also because of his intense desires at the time of leaving the previous body. So this realization comes, then person returns to Lord Krishna. I think we have to stop here. It is 8:04, just a few minutes. So yes, we can cover 28.
Okay.
Yes, Mataji. Qualities of devotee. Now, earlier Krishna told about the non-devotee, those who are envious, who do not want, who are covered, knowledge is alpamidas, and who are low intelligent, who are foolish, ignorant. Now he's talking about devotional service. Yes, Mataji. Qualification of a devotee to perform determined devotional service. Yeah, start from the middle, Mataji.
Okay. Knowledge of the absolute. Qualifications of a devotee to perform determined devotional service. Qualification required to perform determined devotional service. Acted piously in this and previous life. Ceasing to act according to desire and hate. Freedom from dualities of delusion. Sinful actions are completely eradicated.
So
Hare
these are
Krishna.
four qualities which are required. One who wants to perform pure devotional service to Krishna, he has to adopt these four qualities. Yes, for whom it is difficult from this left side, Mataji.
Which one? Knowledge of the...
For whom is it difficult to transcend the duality?
Oh, okay. For whom is it difficult to transcend the dualities of desire and hatred? Those who are sinful, atheistic, foolish, and deceitful, impersonalists, lack the following knowledge. Forget one's position as subordinate to Lord, that is greatest violation of God's law.
So,
Thank you, Prabhuji.
so we saw a pure devotee. How can he develop pure devotional service? When he has possessed all these four qualities. And what about those who do not want to do devotional service, or who do not know Krishna's real transcendental nature, and for whom it is difficult, who cannot do it? Firstly, sinful persons, atheistic, foolish, deceitful, impersonalist. These people never develop true devotional service. They forget that they are a servant of Krishna. They forget that everything is subordinate to Lord Krishna's will. And they also thereby commit the biggest sin, that they violate God's law. But now, after comparing the contrasting situation of a devotee and non-devotee, how to develop devotional service, Lord says how to be situated on a spiritual platform, which is the toughest part of this entire exercise. We have knowledge, but we are not situated on a spiritual platform 24 hours of a day. Now, how to be situated in this spiritual platform? Spiritual situation, being situated on a spiritual platform means that being soul conscious, not body conscious. Presently, our entire energy from morning till the night time going to bed is focused on our bodily concept of life. It is hardly spiritual. We are not thinking of soul or super soul, presence of soul. So yes, Mataji, now please continue. This is beautiful part. How to
Yes,
be
Prabhuji.
situated on the spiritual plane.
For whom? From there or from the central
How
part?
to, this part, right side, how to be situated on the spiritual platform.
Okay. How to be situated on the spiritual platform? Who can accept this process? Those who live practicing the regulative principles of religion, who have acted piously, and who have conquered sinful reactions. Next step, gradually they can meditate in trance and the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Best process, this elevation is possible in Krishna consciousness in the association of pure devotees.
Thank you,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna.
So
Dhanyavad.
so a pure devotee has Shraddha. Now, after Shraddha, the next stage was the association, Shraddha Sadhu Sangha. That is association of pure devotee. A beginner, who has just faith that Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now, when he comes in contact with the Sadhu Sangha of pure devotees, then his faith becomes firm, cemented. Then he takes, after Sadhu Sangha, he takes initiation. After initiation, he is involved in singing the glory of, chanting and singing the glory of Lord Krishna. That is bhajan kriya. After bhajan kriya, next stage comes when all anarthas, that for 6 anarthas, mental anarthas, we know, the kam, krodh, lobh, moh, mad, matsar, they get out of one's mind or heart. Heart becomes purified. When anartha nivriti is there, then there is ruchi. Then there is nishtha, ruchi, and there is asakti. Thereafter, bhav bhakti and prem bhakti. So the first step is Shraddha, and Shraddha, after Shraddha comes association of pure devotees. And Shraddha, how does Shraddha come? There are 2 stages before Shraddha also. The first stage is, before Shraddha, there is mercy of Krishna and mercy of Krishna and pure devotees, and also service to pure devotees. Pure service, rendering service to pure devotees, and mercy of the pure devotee and Krishna, that it helps in development of Shraddha. One cannot develop Shraddha without mercy of Krishna, because he is the sanctioner ultimately. So this last part is, the result is, yes, Mataji, living entity can, the central part, result is, living entity can get liberation.
Down. Okay, result. Living entity can get liberation from bewilderment by devotional service or Krishna consciousness. Devotees travels. Okay, association with materialistic people is a path to darkest region of existence. Devotees traverse earth to recover the conditioned souls from their delusions, that is their mercy. Association or great devotees, Mahat Seva, doors to liberation open. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
So, in Nectar of Devotion is also it is mentioned that one should avoid the association of non-devotees. In fact, we are living in a world where a lot of non-devotees we have to interact, but minimum possible interaction has to be done, has to be with the non-devotees only, because they will lead us to darkest region of existence. That is, they will lead to a say, material life, and spiritual concept cannot develop. So we have to seek the association of pure devotees. Is anybody else would like to read this one? Chanda Mataji, you would like to read? You didn't read anything.
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
I want to finish this chapter today because only 1 or 2 words are remaining.
Jara marana mokshaya mamashritya yatan yatanti ye te brahma tadviduah kritasnamadhyatman karma chakhilam.
Intelligent persons.
Intelligent persons who are enduring for liberation from old age and death take refuge in me in devotional service. They are actually Brahman because they entirely know everything about transcendental activities. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mate. So living entities are also Brahman. This is a new knowledge Lord Krishna is giving to Arjuna here, that living entities are also Brahman, because they realize they want to take the refuge, or they want to surrender and perform devotional service to Krishna, because they want to get out of this cycle of birth and death. They want to get out of this material existence, because they know everything. They know that this body is material, this soul is eternal, that we are part and parcel of Krishna, and we have to render pure devotional service to Lord Krishna in order to return to his place. Yes, Mataji, this one.
Yes, Prabhuji. Sadhibhutadhidevam ma sadhiyagyam chaye chaye vidu प्रयाणकाले अपि च मां ते विदुर्युक्तचेतसः. Those in full consciousness of me, who know me, the Supreme Lord, to be the governing principle of the methods of sacrifice, can understand and know me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, even at the time of death. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. So now, can you describe this picture? This verse,
Yes.
shloka, is just a representative of the quality of a pure devotee or Vaishnava who is Bhishma Pitama himself, because
Yes.
he knew that Krishna is Adibhuta, he is Adi Deva, he is Adi Yajna. That is, he is the master of yajnas, all the sacrifices. He is the acceptor, or he is the Lord who is Adibhuta, that is, he is master of, creator of all living entities, and also that Adi Deva, that he is the controller and source of all the demigods. So such a person always remembers me at the time of death. And Bhishma Pitama, you will see, he did not leave his body till Lord Krishna and all the Pandavas came to him. Of course, that Uttarayan was another condition, but he was Ikshadhari Mrityu. He had the power to leave his body, or based on his own will, he could control leaving the body. So he remembered Krishna, Adi Deva, Adi Bhuta, Adi Yajna. He knew Krishna is such a pure devotee can only those who are full in consciousness of me, who know me, the Supreme Lord, to be the governing principle of material manifestation, that is Adi Bhuta, of the demigods is Adi Deva, and of all the methods of sacrifice, that is Adi Yajna, can understand and know me, the Supreme Personality of God, at the time of death. So Yes, Srila Mataji, want to try to you have to read. Leaving, developing, development.
Devotee can know Krishna at death and go back to him. Surety of person acting in Krishna consciousness. First,
Never
never
deviate.
deviated from path of entirely understanding. Understand Krishna in transcendent all association.
Accidental relationship.
Understand Lord as governing principles of material manifestation and even demigods. And there are three subwings of this section.
Yes.
First is governing principle of material manifestation, governing principle of demigods, governing principle of all methods of sacrifice. Next one is gradually they become convinced of the supreme personality of Godhead. And last one is
At the time of death.
at the time of death, he can never forget Krishna and promoted to Golok Vrindavan.
This all begins with the association of pure devotees and how to become such. This,
And
yeah.
how to become, Prabhuji, I'm unable to read it. Become, I think it's become. How to become with association of
Beginning with
devotee.
association of pure devotees. So this is the ultimate goal. And Drada Brata, determined faith, how can this faith develop? Beginning of pure bhakti. Yes, Mataji. Drada Brata or determined faith.
Ji Prabhuji. Dृढ़ व्रता, determined faith, beginning of bhakti. Conviction that simply by hearing and glorifying Supreme Lord, all objectives will be fulfilled.
Thank you, Mataji. So, surety of person acting in Krishna consciousness, he is firm, that is, he is dृढ़, never deviated from the path of entirely understand Krishna's transcendental association, then he is all empowered of all, everything has been created by him, whatever manifestation, whether material nature or devas or living entities, then they become convinced about Krishna's supremacy and ultimately never forget Krishna, then ultimately reach the. But how does it begin? It begins with the association and devotees. And how can we cement his faith in Krishna, that he is Supreme Personality God, and by hearing and glorifying. That is Shravanam and Kirtanam. That is again Shravanam. And Shravanam means Kirtanam, chanting of holy name of Mahamatra, and also glorifying Lord's activities, name and pastimes. That is how one can do Kirtanam and Shravanam. So that is how one can render pure devotional service. So this is a summary. I'm not going to read it because it's already very late. Mataji, Shanprabha Mataji, you had asked about different kind of incarnations. I'll take up, I'm sorry, should have taken it early, but we'll take it up in the next session. So I come to end of this session now. Any questions or doubts or correction or addition or modification anybody would like to give, please, you are welcome. I overshot the time, but I had to finish this chapter today because of recording purposes. Anybody would like to add anything or?
Prabhu, may you please repeat the Abhibhut and Abhidev?
Yes, sure.
Last.
Adibhuta means controller of all the living entities, whatever physical or material existence is there in the world. Then Adi Yajna means he is the controller or the supreme receiver of all yajnas or sacrifices. And Adi Deva means he is the controller and originator of all the Deva demigods. Adi Deva, Adi Yajna, and Adi Bhuta. This understanding has to become in the mind, then only there shall be no dualities.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dhanyavad.
Thank you, Mataji. Any other question? The in the chat box, attendance link is posted already. I'm posting just now again. Please fill up the form, your attendance form. I'm sorry I have exceeded the time limit, but there was no option because this chapter had to be contained in today's session only. So we'll close if there is no question. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव की पंथ की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। Hare Krishna, Prabhuji and Mataji, Dhanavad Pranam to all of you. Thank you very much for your association and participation in today's class. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Dhanavad
Hare
Pranam.
Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, Mataji.